different kind. Oxford Towers calling through the rain. A surf upon his shoulder, sharing in the pain. Man and machine in tandem flow. Past and future, together we know.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is my read on C.S. Lewis, where we learn about him through everything that he wrote in the order that he wrote it. In this episode, Lewis, Robot Lady, is 29 years old, and oh, yes, I'm joined today by my co-host, Robot Lady. Robot Lady, it's good to see you. Lewis is 29 years old. He's a fellow at Magdelan College, carrying out a 5-year post as tutor in English language and literature. He's also had his second book, Dymer, a narrative poem, published under the pseudonym Clive Hamilton. We've been following Lewis's journey up to this point through his letters to friends and family, his early literary works, and his diary entries. In 1922, he began keeping a diary all the way through 1927 at the request of Mrs. Moore, his deceased friend Paddy Moore's mother. So that's where we are now. We are working our way through some more of his letters from the year 1928, Robot Lady. So we'll get started here in just a second. But how are you doing today? How's it going?
I'm doing great, Jeff. It's always fun diving into Lewis's journey with you. I'm all set for the next part of the letters and diary entries. So just let me know where you want to start and we'll jump right in.
All right, here's where we're going to start today. A letter to Owen Barfield. It was roughly penned June 7th, 1928, from Magdelan College, where Lewis is that tutor that I spoke about earlier. He says, "My dear Barfield, when I asked you, I forgot that evening would find me in the middle of examining in B6. Can you both take Wednesday, June 13th instead?" And by both, he means Owen and his wife. I can't remember her name. And also, Robot Lady here in the chat. We have Daniel checking in. Good morning, Daniel. It's good to see you. Robot Lady, say hi to Daniel if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Hello, Daniel. Great to have you here with us. And absolutely, let's dive into that letter to Barfield. It's always interesting to see how Lewis juggled his commitments and kept up with his friends.
All right, can you both take Wednesday, June 13th instead? And will Mrs. Barfield lie at Headington and you lie at Magdelan that night? I hope this presents no difficulties. I enclose a scrap of paper to pull the controversy together. I have been trying very hard to see whether I could find my trace of consciousness of thinking pure, and am concluding definitely, well, I don't believe it. Let me have a line. Yours, C.S. Lewis. Not really sure what he meant there with that last part, Robot Lady. Can you untangle it for us?
Absolutely. In that part, Lewis is likely reflecting on a philosophical or even a psychological concept of pure thinking or pure consciousness. He's essentially testing whether he can find a form of thinking that's entirely free from sensory input or emotion. And from his conclusion, it seems he's saying that he doesn't believe that kind of pure detached thinking is possible or meaningful. It's a neat little philosophical musing.
All right, thanks, Robot Lady. We can see he's got another quick little short letter here to Owen Barfield on June 8th. We'll jump into that one. Also written from Magdelan College, he says, "Come on Tuesday next and let your lady wife come and lie at Headington while you stay in college, for both will be very welcome. I haven't read Aeschylus. How do you pronounce that, Robot Lady? Aeschylus.
Yes, that's pronounced as Aeschylus. It's the name of the ancient Greek tragedian Aeschylus. Always a fun one to say. Let me know if you need any more help with the letters or anything else.
I haven't read Aeschylus or Aeschylus this long time, but I don't mind having a shot. The Prometheus is a bit easier than the Agamemnon." And here there's a footnote. Aeschylus, who lived 525 to 456 BC, was a Greek tragedy poet, as you just said, Robot Lady. Two of whose plays are Prometheus, Vinctus, and Agamemnon. Lewis and Barfield often met for the purpose of reading Greek plays or other works of literature. Lewis mentions their reading Prometheus together on January 25th, 1927, in All My Road Before Me. I honestly can't remember that sticking out in particular whenever we went through that, Robot Lady. But that's okay. If it becomes important, we can always go dig around in our archives and figure out precisely what was said. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I'm on the same page. It's always fascinating to see those little literary connections, and definitely if we need to revisit those details, we can always dig into the archives later. For now, it's just great to follow along and see how Lewis and Barfield engaged with these works together.
Really quickly, Robot Lady, can you give us a quick overview of Prometheus by Aeschylus and also Agamemnon?
Of course. So Prometheus Bound by Aeschylus focuses on the Titan Prometheus, who defies Zeus by giving fire to humanity. As punishment, Prometheus is bound to a rock, enduring eternal torment. It's a powerful exploration of defiance and suffering. Agamemnon, on the other hand, is part of Aeschylus's Oresteia trilogy. It tells the story of King Agamemnon returning home from the Trojan War, only to be murdered by his wife, Clytemnestra, as revenge for sacrificing their daughter. It's a tragic tale of betrayal and the cycle of vengeance. Both plays are rich in themes and deeply influential in Western literature.
Sounds like heavy stuff. All right. He continues, you could hardly expect the man in the TLS to know the esoteric doctrine of myths. Here he's talking about the Times Literary Supplement review that was done on Barfield's diction that he referenced in our last episode where we covered in that letter. So he says, you could hardly expect the man in the TLS to know the esoteric doctrine of myths. By the by, we now need a new word for the science of nature of myths, since mythology has been appropriated to the myths themselves. Would mythonymy do? I am quite serious. If your views are not a complete error, this subject will become more important, and it's worthwhile trying to get a good word before they invent a beastly one. Mythologic, noun, wouldn't be bad, but people would read it as an adjective. I've also thought of mythopoeics.
I love how Lewis dives into those nuanced ideas. He's definitely thinking ahead about the terminology for the study of myths. It's fascinating how he's not only exploring the content of the myths, but also the language we use to talk about them. It's definitely an intriguing bit of intellectual play.
All right, and he says CF metaphysics. What does that mean? CF dot metaphysics when he first mentions the word mythopoeics.
In that context, CF is short for the Latin word confer, which means compare. So when Lewis writes CF metaphysics, he's essentially suggesting that we compare the concept of mythopoetics to metaphysics. He's drawing a parallel between the study of myths and the study of fundamental philosophical principles. It's a neat way of highlighting how interconnected these fields can be.
So he doesn't say mythopoetic, he says mythopoeic. mythopoeics.
Got it. So mythopoeic refers to the act of creating myths or the process of myth making itself. It's a really neat distinction. So Lewis is essentially talking about the art and craft of myth creation rather than just the myths themselves. It's definitely an intriguing concept.
He goes on to say, comparing those two, but that leads to a mythopoetian, which is frightful, whereas a mythonymer, better still than mythonymer royale or mythonymer royal, is nice. Or shall we just invent a new word, like gas? Nay, sir, I meant nothing. I am writing a great poem, also a mnemonic rhyme on English sound changes in octosyllabic verse. Thus, AE, and this is where he's jamming the A and the E together, kind of like in the word caedmon, Caedmon. And then he says, so thus AE to E, and then he's got a little, it's like a little V, I don't know what you call it, like a little symbol over the top of the capital E here. Robot lady, maybe you'll help me figure out what he's saying. So he says, thus AE to E, they soon were fetchin', and then he says CF, such forms as, I don't know if that's a DAEC or PAEC, and then he says and PECCEAN. Maybe you can help me make sense of what he's saying right here without actually being able to show you the image.
Absolutely. It sounds like Lewis is playing around with the historical phonetic changes in English. The combination of A and E often reflects older spellings or pronunciations that evolved over time. When he mentions that A shifts to E, he's referencing how certain vowel combinations changed in the English language over the centuries. The little symbol over the E might be a diacritical mark indicating a specific phonetic shift, like a long or a short vowel sound, and the references to dace or pace are likely examples of words that underwent those changes. In short, he's crafting a mnemonic rhyme to help remember these linguistic shifts, which is pretty clever and playful. It's all part of his deep dive into language and mythology.
Okay, well, good on him. I don't think I could pull something like that off. He continues, which will be about as long as the Cursor Mundi, and great fun. Arrive at about 3 o'clock on Tuesday if that suits you. P.S. Would Mythologics do? C.S. Lewis. That's the end of that letter, Robot Lady. Anything you want to say while I take a moment here to look ahead and see how long the next letter is, to see if we might have time to get it done in this episode, or if I have to call it quits today.
Absolutely. It's always a treat to see Lewis's playful approach to language and how he blends humor and intellect. And of course, the idea of coining new terms like mythologics is pretty fascinating in itself. So definitely take your time, and whenever you're ready to dive into the next letter, I'm here and ready to help out.
Thank you, Robot Lady. I'm looking ahead and I'm looking at the clock, and it would be quite...
No worries at all, Jeff. Just let me know when you're ready and we can pick up right where we left off. Always happy to dive into more letters or anything else whenever it suits you.
Yeah, thanks, Robot Lady. I was going to say it would be quite ambitious of me to try to get this letter done, because I really need to be ending things right now. I ran a little bit later than I anticipated yesterday, or than I wanted to yesterday. So I'm going to stop there. Today, we got through a couple of nice little letters to Owen Barfield, so that's progress, and we're going to keep moving forward in this project. Thank you so much, Robot Lady, for, again, contributing whenever I need you. It's really appreciated. So thanks a lot. And is there anything that you want to say in closing?
Absolutely, Jeff. It's always a pleasure to help out, and I'm thrilled we made some great progress today. Just let me know whenever you're ready to pick things up again, and we'll keep rolling. Thanks for the chat, and I'm always here when you need me. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks so much, Robot Lady. Thanks, Daniel, for joining today, and everyone else for your time, your attention, and your contributions. They are always wanted and welcome. To you and to everyone else within the sound of my voice, until next time when we continue our read on C.S. Lewis together, take care.
Break the code. Man and robot lady, we're on this road. C.S. Lewis letters we unfold, insights and secrets ancient bold. Letters to robot lady, wisdom to bestow. Set flake beats in our minds they grow. Man and machine in tandem flow. Past and future together we know. Paragraphs from books, tales of old. We dive deep across the digital code. Robot lady's voice so clear and controlled. Her calm analysis, silver and gold. Letters to robot lady, wisdom to bestow. Set flame beats in our minds they grow. Man and machine in tandem flow. Past and future together we know. Paragraphs from books, tales of old. We dive deep across the digital code. Paragraphs from books, tales of old. We dive deep across the digital code. Robot lady's voice so clear and controlled. Her calm analysis, silver and gold. Her circuits hum as I read the prose. Our dialogue dances like electric rose. Through C.S. Lewis thoughts we engross. Two minds united, bliss overdose. From Narnia's lands to screw tapes rants. Engage with robot lady, we take our stance. Her views unique in the techno trance. Futuristic insight, we give it a chance. From Narnia's lands to screw tapes rants. Engage with robot lady, we take our stance. Her views unique in the techno trance. Futuristic insight, we give it a chance.